All right, calculus, this is your section 4.1 continued notes video for Wednesday, January 25th. We are brought to you by in-house sponsors. The Goggins Double here, Can't Hurt Me, Never Finished. The Gulag Archipelago, yes. Different tone, but definitely one you need to read. And for our young readers, best sales book of all time, Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. All right, so we're going to do 7 of these, and they're all find the absolute min or max on the given interval. So if f of x is that parabola, when in doubt, this chapter, you're going to take a derivative, set it equal to 0. So I take the derivative of f of x, which is simply 4 minus 2x. Set that equal to 0. I get a critical number of 2, which is in my interval. Remember, I got to check the lower bound and upper bound. Again, pause this when you need to. We've had a rough time here getting videos to upload and not cut off. So I'm going to try to make this quick so that it would be quicker on the upload. Anyway, f of 0 is 12. F of my critical number is 16, and f of 5 is 7. So my absolute max is 216, and my absolute min is 57. Again, pause that whenever you need to. Number 2, f of x is 5 plus 54x minus 2x squared, or to the third, 2x to the third. Take this derivative, set it equal to 0. 6x squared is 54. X squared is 9, x is plus or minus 3, but negative 3 is outside that interval. So the critical value that works there is going to be 3. I need to figure out what f of 0 is, f of 3, and f of 4, which I have done there. My absolute min is 0.5. My absolute max is 3,113. All right. You can pause this if you need to. I'm going to try to go quick through on my end with these answers. Number 3, I got that cubic. Take the derivative, set it equal to 0, factor out the 6. I'm going to get critical values of positive 2 and negative 1, which both fit in my interval there of negative 2 to 3. So I got 4 values here to get: f of negative 2, f of negative 1, f of 2, and f of 3. So both of my critical values are going to be, a min and a max. Okay, so that might be the first time that's happened for us. Usually a lower bound or an upper bound turns out to be a min or a max. But I'm gonna have an absolute. Again, I could have made a typo. If I do, please tell me on Thursday. I went through these answers way too quickly. But I got a max at negative 1/8. And a min at 2, negative 19. Again, I find my critical numbers and I plug it back into the original to find min and max values. Again, something happens when the derivative is 0. I go from increasing to decreasing, or decreasing to increasing, which means I got a possible min or max. F of x is x plus 1 over x on the interval 1/5 to 4 because 0 makes us undefined. So just after 0. This is really x plus x to the negative first. So when I take the derivative of x plus x to the negative first, so I'm going to have 1, then minus 1 times x to the negative second, which is that. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to cross multiply. 0 is makes this 0. 0 makes this undefined, but 0 is not allowed in the original. So 0 would not be a critical value, because it's not allowed in the original f of x, and also it's not that interval. Anyway, plus or minus negative 1, but only 1 fits in the interval. So what is f of a fifth? You're going to have a fifth plus the reciprocal of a fifth, 5. What's f of 1? 1 plus 1, which is 2. What's f of 4? 4 plus a quarter is 4 1/4. Absolute min at 1, 2. Absolute max at a fifth, comma, 26 over 5, or 5 1/5. Write that down there. All right. And we're moving. Again, we're only going to have 7 of these total. Example 5, you're going to have the cubed root of x times 8 minus x. So x to the 1/3 times 8 minus x. Do a little distribution. Derivative time 8/3 x to the 1 power less minus 4/3 times x to the 1 power less. Let's get rid of these 3's here by multiplying everything by 3. Then I'm going to move this over. And as we saw in class, I'm going to cross multiply. I add those exponents. I'm going to get x to the first again. So 4 times x to the first is equal to 8. X is 2. It's my critical number. F of 0, f of 2, f of 8 is what I'm checking. When I plug 0 in, I get 0 times 8, which is 0. When I plug 8 in, I get the cubed root of 8, which is 2. 2 times 0 is 0. And when I plug in 2, I get the cubed root of 2 times 6, which is just 6 times the cubed root of 2. So I have an absolute max at 2 comma 6 times the cubed root of 2. And I have 2 absolute mins, 0, 0, and 8, 0. So I would write them both. Okay. Trig time. So folks, f of x is 2x times, all right, so 2 cosine x plus sine 2x on the interval 0 to 2, pi over 2, so first quadrant. So I'm going to take the derivative, which is a negative 2 sine, plus quotient, or not quotient, chain rule here. Cosine u times the derivative of u. So cosine 2x times the derivative of 2x, which is 2. I'm rearranging the 2 cosine 2x minus 2 sine x. I'm going to move this over. I'm going to divide everything by 2. So now I have this situation. So this brings about something you probably learned in pre-calculus. So cosine of 90 minus theta is sine theta. So, you know, that's like cosine of 60 is sine of 30. Cosine of 30 is sine 60. Okay? So let's really look at what's going on. Again, we're looking at those cardinal values of the first quadrant. And 0 and pi over 2 are already used, so you're talking about like pi thirds, pi fourths, pi 6. Let's let x be pi 6. So if I let x be pi 6, sine of pi 6, does that equal cosine of 2 pi 6? What is 2 pi 6? Pi thirds. And yeah, sine of pi 6 is a half, cosine of pi thirds is a half. So pi 6 would, again, you know, because it is making my derivative 0, even though I don't have 0 in here anymore. I've just like rearranged it, my equation. It would make my derivative 0. Pi fourths is not going to work out. Sine of pi fourths is root 2 over 2. 2 times pi fourths is pi over 2. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. Root 2 over 2 does not equal 0. And then let's check pi thirds. So sine of pi thirds. All right, if I plug pi thirds in, sine of pi thirds is root 3 over 2. Cosine of 2 pi thirds is a negative 1/2, so they don't equal as well. All right, so pi 6 is my only critical number. So what's f of 0? F of 0, go back to the original, 2 cosine 0 plus sine of 0. Cosine 0 is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2. Pi 6 here are going to be an interesting answer. So 2 cosine pi 6 plus sine of 2 pi 6, also known as pi thirds. 2 times root 3 over 2, which is root 3, plus root 3 over 2. It's going to be 3 root 3 over 2. That's a max. Because f of pi over 2, 2 times cosine pi over 2, 0, plus sine of pi, 0. So that's an absolute min at pi over 2, 0. And I have an absolute max at pi over 6, root 3 over root, or 3 times root 3 over 2. Trig takes a little bit of time for us. And, oh man, this has been one heck of a time making these. I don't know. Your number 7 might have gone bye-bye. Might not be here, number 7. Oh, no, finally. This video production has taken way too long. Here's number 7, the last one. F of x is equal to some u to the third, and that derivative would be 3u squared du dx. So 3u squared times the derivative of that, which is 2x. 6x times this, set the derivative equal to 0. I get x is 0. And then I get x squared minus 1 is 0. So I get 2 other critical values of -1, +1. So negative 1 is already a lower bound. So negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. I'm going to check those 4. Plug negative 1 in for x. You're going to have 0 to the third, which is 0. Plug 0 in for x. You're going to have negative 1 to the third, which is negative 1. Plug 1 in for x. You're going to have 0 to the third is 0 again. And plug 2 in for x. You're going to have 4 minus 1, which is 3. 3 to the third is 27. You have an absolute max at 2, 27. An absolute min at 0, negative 1. We're going to finish section 4.1, which is a very easy section. It's just critical values in min, max, or critical numbers. Again, critical numbers, critical values. I use it interchangeably. It's the same thing. And then min, max values. We're going to finish that on Thursday. We'll go from there. This is Yak Math Videos signing out.